watching. If we were to listen to the new HHS Secretary, Kathleen Sebelius, she said you're confused about health care reform. Or how about John Kerry? I showed you earlier what he said.
We have an electorate that doesn't always pay that much attention to what's going on. So, you know, people are influenced by a simple slogan rather than by the facts and the truth of what's happening.
I can't believe he said that. I mean, it is true, John. About 69 million people were influenced by 3 simple words: hope and change. It's not because they were stupid. I mean, was it? I don't think so. I think it's because Americans are trusting. They trust that people are generally like them and generally good. And hope and change, we want to have hope. And the change that I think Americans, that was unspoken, went across the spectrum, was that we would clean up the corruption and we'd stop with the lies and we'd stop with the old style politics. We'd stop with all of this. We're trusting. Unfortunately, for this period of time, no longer. Because we've been played. I saw this picture on theblaze.com this weekend. It's the guy who quit his job to join Obama's campaign. Do you remember him? This is the guy who was the doorman in New York. Well, he went to go work for the campaign, but now he's losing hope. He's back at his doorman job, and he's making less money than he was. The majority of Americans, I think, feel like him. But that's what you are to these progressives. A doorman. You little people, you don't understand what's good for you. They've tried to explain how they're taking care of everything in your life, but you're just not getting it. The fact is, the vast majority of Americans are fed up, precisely because they do know what's going on. None of this makes any sense to them. Not because they're stupid, but because they know there's a game still being played. We're being lied to again. They've got another agenda. It's a special interest game. Well, with everything that's going on in the world, in a couple of weeks, a key stimulus program that did nothing but create temporary jobs is scheduled to end. Now, it did create jobs. In the grand scheme of government jobs programs, I mean, this is much better than the $2 million phantom jobs that you can never find. This program allowed employers at the government level, nonprofit and small business levels, to get direct help paying for workers' salaries. It was modeled after a failed New Deal jobs program, and even Republicans like Mississippi Governor Haley Barbour was supporting it. I don't. And the reason why I don't is not because I hate people, it's because of this problem. An estimate, now that the government money is over, what have we gained? 26,000 jobs could be lost now in Illinois in the next 2 weeks. Another 12,000 jobs will go in Philadelphia. So how does this help people in the hope department? Doesn't this make things worse? Yes. So why would you do it? Well, first of all, because you know the jobs are going to happen right around election time. And you're also going to be able to use fear and say, hey, you're not going to be able, these guys are going to cut even more. You think it's bad now, you wait. And more importantly, as always, when you create a problem, you create one that is enormously painful, and then you just wait with the solution. You have the solution already. You're just causing the pain to get people to beg you to solve the problem so they can feed their family. Well, here he comes on his white horse, Andy Stern, formerly of SEIU. But now he's on the president's economic panel. That's right, he used to, was the former head of the powerful union, SEIU, but now he just recommends policies for the president directly. And he's here to save the day. Andy Stern. He has a plan to create 12 million jobs. He calls it, what is it? No, this is from the Center for American Progress. I think it's AmeriCorps and steroids. There it is. In a nutshell, Stern's idea is that assuming the average annual cost of $15,000 per person, for just $46.5 billion, we could offer every 16 to 24-year-old who wanted a job a national service opportunity. Well, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. So everybody who's 16 to 24 could work for the government. Where did he get that idea? Oh, that's right. This. The Center for American Progress. Here was their solution. Ready? Bottom line, for less than $1.5 billion, Congress could engage close to 150,000 individuals in national service for 1 year. Less than $14,000 per member. The strategy would create the equivalent of over 100,000 new jobs. There it is, Center for American Progress. We told you last week that this is exactly what they do. They create an unsustainable system. They force their solutions on the American people, and the American people beg them for it. And the great thing is, this is all about jobs for the youth, 16 and 24-year-olds. And who better to suggest this than Andy Stern, a former member of SDS in the Tree of Revolution. Isn't that great? Here he is, SDS, Students for a Democratic Society. This is the nonsense and revolution that he learned in the 60s. It's fantastic. It's fantastic when they indoctrinate our kids in school to be green, but now they can go right into the clutches of Andy Stern after they leave school. They can go right to that government job with Andy Stern and Van Jones. Oh, that's great. We'll talk a little bit more about Stern's tremendous plan to create 12 million jobs for 16 to 24-year-olds next.